Cash over 30 seconds, Deputy Kelleher.
Good just to ask the Minister for Business and Enterprise Innovation, is she satisfied with the take-up rate for business Brexit supports provided by her department and the agencies to date? There is no doubt, and as you go closer to the border area, obviously, Minister, as you are very familiar with, there is a need for us to be very proactive in addressing this. And it's all very fine to make the supports available, but what you need to do then is put in place the ability of small and medium-sized businesses, which are always under pressure anyway, to give them the resources so they can actually make formal applications and to try and reduce that burden of red tape again in terms of access to supports.
Ministers, 2 minutes.
I just want to thank the Deputy for raising this. My department and its agencies are providing extensive support to ensure that businesses are prepared for Brexit. These supports aim to assist businesses in identifying key risk areas and the practical preparatory actions to be taken over the coming months. For 2019, I am allocating an extra €8 million to the enterprise agencies and regulatory bodies under my department who work with firms to develop their supports for business. I have also allocated an additional €5 million to the local enterprise offices for 2019 to increase their Brexit supports to businesses in every county. The level of uptake of these supports shows that businesses are aware of the assistance on offer and are engaging with various initiatives and schemes that have been made available. A September 2017 survey reported that 38% of Enterprise Ireland clients surveyed had taken Brexit actions. In May 2018, this figure increased to 85% of EI client companies surveyed. The survey reported that EI client companies are taking action in areas such as market diversification, developing strategic partnerships, improving operational competitiveness, improving financial management and strengthening business in the UK. This is a positive indication that companies are preparing for Brexit. For instance, the Enterprise Ireland Brexit SME Scorecard is an interactive online platform which can be used by all Irish companies to self-assess their exposure to Brexit. To date, 2,962 Brexit scorecards have been completed. The Be Prepared grant, also available through Enterprise Ireland, offers SME clients a grant of up to €5,000 to assist them in preparing for an action plan for economic shocks such as Brexit. That grant can be used to help cover consultancy, travel and travel expenses associated with researching the direction of their action plan. 137 Be Prepared grants have so far been approved. Enterprise Ireland has run 8 Brexit advisory clinics throughout the country to date. Approximately 590 people have attended these events, with 3 more clinics are due to take place before the end of the year in Dundalk, Waterford and Limerick. The local enterprise...
The remainder is too long. Will be included in the official report.
Thanks, Minister. Look, we're still unsure as to where we are going with Brexit and what the final outcome will be. We do know that the UK will be departing the European Union. How it departs is the issue that's for debate elsewhere at the present time, but will have a profound impact on businesses in the Republic of Ireland, but it will have massive implications along the border in terms of business and their efficiencies. Enterprise Ireland's Be Prepared grant scheme is being awarded at a rate of 6 firms per month, Minister. 6 firms per month. The Intertrade Ireland Start to Plan voucher scheme is also being awarded at 6 firms per month. So it is quite poor in its rollout. Or its uptake at the very least. Now, if it's being rolled out, as you say, but not being taken up by companies, well, then there is a problem somewhere. And is the problem that it is too complex? Are companies unaware of it? Or is there enough effort being made to promote it among organisations? And that is the issue that really has to be addressed. We do need to be prepared, we need to be ready, we need to be RAIC.
Minister, 1 minute.
Thank you. Just to say that businesses, we are providing an array of different support to businesses across departments and agencies. But ultimately, businesses have to decide themselves whether they want to avail of those supports or not. I'm not getting any indication from the businesses I meet that the schemes that are either too complicated or that we need to simplify them to make them more accessible. That is not. I'm not hearing that. What I'm doing is all the time saying to businesses, just take that short space of time that it takes to assess your risks and what the risks are in terms of Brexit, and you can do that through the Brexit scorecard. It's online, it's simple. There's a range of supports out there, and I've increased the funding to Intertrade Ireland because obviously I'm from the border and I'm very conscious of the impact that Brexit would have in the border areas and on businesses both sides of the border, because they cross over every day and they trade continually and they're concerned about it. Now, I've increased the budget to Intertrade Ireland, which is a cross-border body. I've given them an 18% increase, an increase of €1 million. So that's going to allow them to further increase their supports to businesses. In terms of the local enterprise offices, they've got an extra $5 million. That's going to allow them to reach out to more businesses to help support them in terms of being Brexit prepared.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Minister. And look, as I said, I do acknowledge the fact that from where you reside and represent, you're keenly aware of it. All I'm just saying is that we have to ensure that there's no obstacles or impediments put in front of business during this very difficult time for businesses across the country, but predominantly in the border regions. And I suppose one of the reasons that there may not be a big uptake is because there's such uncertainty around where Brexit will actually lead us in terms of the final outcomes. And the fact that the negotiation days are uncertain again and don't give us timelines, again puts businesses in a very difficult position in terms of how they plan. And very often businesses, small businesses in particular, are under pressure, and it is very difficult for them to plan long term when they are struggling with cash flow difficulties on a daily, weekly basis, just trying to win orders and just trying to keep things going. So that long-term planning can be very difficult for them. So whatever has to be done must be done, Minister. And as I said, I just hope that the organisations and agencies available to you through the state, Enterprise Ireland, Intertrade and others, that they will all understand and support businesses.
Final response from the Minister.
Yes, Deputy, I do accept that businesses that I meet are saying, well, what are we preparing for? What I say to them is look at the worst possible case scenario and identify the risks and mitigate for those risks. The government is negotiating for the best possible outcome, but we need businesses to prepare and look at the worst possible case scenario. Just to say that in terms of cash flow, that's what the working capital Brexit loan scheme is for, is to help businesses with cash flow difficulties. And there is a cross-government awareness campaign, Getting Ireland Brexit Ready, and events have taken place in Cork, Galway. There's one planned for Monaghan tomorrow, and there's a further one in Dublin. Now, there's been huge interest in those roadshows. All of the agencies are present. They're there to help people to hear their, to give them information on the Brexit supports that are available. So these roadshows have been run right around the country, and I think that that's important, and people should avail of those. They should attend them. I understand the one in Cork and the one in Galway were extremely well attended, and the one in Dublin is already showing huge interest. So again, we're doing everything we can to make businesses aware and to encourage them to put the plans in place to prepare for Brexit.